Finally, it's been 3 years in the making, but Stranger Things Season 5 is less than 24 hours out, and I gotta do my final trailer breakdown and also give you some of my death predictions. Who's gonna make it, who's not. Stay tuned. Say no more. Back to Say No More Media. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell as Stranger Things Season 5 is here. Know that actively 11 is being hunted by the government, as in Season 4. They were out there with Brenner, and that government agent was still tracking her, and she has made it back to Hawkins, but we know there was a strong military presence in Hawkins, and they will be coming for 11. The rest of the Hawkins team, they're still in high school. They're trying to get over what happened with Max. They are in Hawkins. It has almost merged completely with the Upside Down. Vecna has survived. They are planning the ultimate let's get Vecna. That's how the series starts. I heard from episode 1 straight out of the jump. It's all about setting traps for Vecna. They want Vecna's head on a platter. As you can see, the originals, Mike, Will, Lucas, Dustin, Nancy, Steve, Hopper, Joyce, is going to take the whole crew. We really understand what's going on with the passing of Eddie, how that's affect Dustin. Lucas hasn't left Mac's side. This is just so crazy. We have 11 training in the Upside Down with Hopper. Demogorgons hopping out of the military base. 11 training like this is the last sequence in an action movie. This is everything the Duffer brothers wanted to put on screen for 10 years in the making. This is like Neo finally learning how to fly. You can use that as symbolism, as always. What is Vecna's true plan with Will? He said he's going to help him one last time. That is one of the major story arcs that we're going to see. Who survives? I have a strong death prediction I'm going to go over towards the end of this video. Who makes it? Who doesn't survive? Ted Wheeler, you can almost guarantee he's chalked to begin the season, but it's not looking good for Lucas based on that trailer right there. You can see the portals happening inside. What is the Upside Down? How did it create? I'm pretty sure the Duffer brothers are going to bring this all full circle to who is the new big bag D&D Dungeons & Dragons monster for Season 5. I'm pretty sure Vecna is like a mini boss. We might see the Fessel Hydra, that dragon that Will drew in his picture. I really think cinematically, they're going to end this with a huge fight with all of the characters gaining powers and fighting in the Upside Down world, like a dream world. And it's just going to be cinematically so awesome to see all of that pop up on the screen. But as we know, the beginning of Season 5, Episode 1, it starts with the vanishing of Will Byers. What happened? We find out that the Demogorgon actually took him, and it was actually Vecna who had a plan for Will the entire time. So that's extraordinary already in Season 5 in the breakdown of the trailer. You can see the Demogorgon chasing Will. We all thought that he was just hiding in the Upside Down in Season 1, but come to find out, a Demogorgon, he was actually on action survival time, running from this Demogorgon, looking to survive. Dustin's whole season arc in this series will completely just be about redemption for Eddie, right? And then the teens and them traveling into the Upside Down, the teenagers group, Robin, Steve, Nancy, Jonathan. They are so tied into the plot. It wouldn't be Stranger Things without them. And look at Hawkins right now. It's completely overrun. This is insanity. This is not just the normal one Demogorgon, a demo dog, the Mind Flayer. They're dealing with actual Demogorgons walking in people's houses in Hawkins. How do they stop this? You can see that they set their base up as the radio station, but how are they going to be able to control all of this? And do they get to work with the government while the government is actively hunting 11? So this is all crazy. Put all of this into tomorrow. For Volume 1 is dropping on November 26th. And we know the next episode will be on Christmas Day, and then the next episode will be New Year's Eve. But from what I'm hearing, Volume 1, Season 1, Episode 1 starts out right out of the gate, action-packed. The Duffer brothers have already given us snippets of this, and you could just see Demogorgons inside of Ted Wheeler and Nancy Wheeler's house. The vanishing of Holly. Do they take Holly? Hawkins has completely been overrun and merged with the Upside Down. You see there's like survival camps. There's a high presence military base of course, if something like that goes down on the United States, they would send a military presence. They're covering up to say that it was a massive earthquake, but we do know, if you follow season 4, what happened. Vecna got his 4th and final kill, and now he has merged a part of Hawkins with the Upside Down. And we can see based on this trailer, his whole goal is to get Will, and I have a super strong theory that he will use Will to do some of his bidding. Yeah, bro, I think that Will actually be responsible for some of the deaths that we see in Stranger Things season 5. I know that's not what we're gonna want to see, but the Duffer brothers always have a spin. They have a heavy influence of Stephen King, so I could see Will actually doing the dirty work for Vecna. That would be horrible, but I see that coming. And Mike's gonna take front and center, as he always does, to end his story arc. He's going to be the leader, the heart of the group, putting the plans together, giving them courage to succeed with the plan. But last time they lost against Vecna, so I'm eager to see what this plan is and if they're able to overcome, everything that Vecna is going to have, complete control of the hive mind. And that 11 is gearing up with Hopper, to finally face Vecna, and she's going after Max. That's one of her targets for this season. Is she wants to defeat Vecna, and she's going after to find Max. So she's gonna have to enter into some crazy worlds, whether that's Vecna's mind, Max's mind, in order to defeat Vecna while being actively hunted by the government. So we do understand that new character that was introduced, like the Sarah Connor lady from Terminator. She's going to be actively hunting 11. They probably want to use her powers, or they think that she is the reason behind all of this. So imagine season 5 where you have to hide 11. She's clearly being hunted by the government while they have to get together and put together plans to end Vecna and also do something about this military presence that's in Hawkins that are clearly trying to hunt 11. So Hopper's going to be on full daddy duty in season 5. Just like in season 3, when we had that huge Terminator guy who is working for the Russians. This year, they introduced the lady from Terminator who's actively going to be hunting 11. We can see here. I'm just going off of, this is my theory for her arc, is she's there to get 11. She's hired by, maybe she works for Brenner's Corporation or the active government, but I believe her role in this movie will be to capture 11. They want to use her powers, and they do believe that 11 is behind everything that is happening in Hawkins, right? So in season 1, episode 1, of course, they start off with what was going on with Will Byers, and we find out that he had to have his ultimate survival instincts on to escape the Demogorgon, but he ends up falling from the tree and ultimately getting captured by the Demogorgon, taken to Vecna, where Vecna implants him with all of the, I want to say, like, makes him a part of the hive mind, makes him his vessel. Now he can use Will. It was all a part of Vecna's plan, and that is absolutely crazy. We also know in season 5 that Lucas has been bedside with Max. That's his ultimate role right now. He's not giving up on her. He's reading to her. He's keeping her encouraged to fight on. But we do understand, based on the trailer, demi-dogs get into the hospital, probably sent by Vecna to go get Max. And, Will is not going to leave without Max. And I believe that his little sister Erica is there. So Lucas will be getting Max out of the hospital safely. But he will also be a part of the overall kids' mission, which is finding out how to get into these portals, how to get into these rifts that have been created in Hawkins, and how to go get Vecna. They're going to be setting traps for him. They're going to be using the radio station. The teenagers and the kids and Joyce. It's going to take a whole complete effort, and Lucas Sinclair will be leading the charge as his rogue warrior arc. Lucas doesn't have a slingshot. Hopefully they give him a power up in season 5, because he's going to need it, especially if they're taking on Vecna. You can see him and Mike in this part of the trailer right here. This is at their high school. I think with the time jump, Erica is now in high school. She's probably a freshman or so, because I think she was in junior high in season 4. So I think in this scene, Mike and Lucas are explaining to Erica they need a distraction. They need for her to help with the plan, and it's all a part of like Mike's plan, and Lucas is there. They're going to lean on Erica Sinclair heavily in season 5, because she's been through a lot already. She understands what's at stake. She understands her role. She's fearless, whether in the Upside Down or in the real world. She's not afraid to stand up against bullies or other teens, and Erica will get the job done. Honestly, if you follow Erica's arc, Erica ain't taking nothing from nobody. So I think in this particular scene right here, Mike and Lucas are reaching out to Erica, maybe for some guidance or maybe for her to understand her part of the mission, which is they got to protect Hawkins at all costs, right? So it flashes over to Dustin, Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan, and they have demigorgons tight on their trail, and they are driving into the Upside Down, which looks like one of those farms that was referenced in season 2. They're driving into think about it, they're driving into the Upside Down, but for them, they've navigated the Upside Down in season 4, so it's not like they understand where they're going to come out on the other end of the portal. It's just going to be a part of, the Upside Down is just going to be a replica of that place, just stuck in 1983. We know Dustin, he's a little beat up here in this scene. He went to go visit Eddie Munson's grave. There's a lot of resentment towards Eddie Munson in the town. They still think he's responsible for all the deaths, like Chrissy and all the teenagers, like D&D, the Hellfire Club was just this one big cult. And they know Dustin was friends with Eddie, and Dustin's not really taking that very well this season. He's very depressed. He's grieving. But, in this scene with Steve, they're clearly looking at, I think, those demi-dogs, these right here that came out of the Upside Down and are protecting like this radio tower. I think this is that tower where it looks like the shadow monster is like at the top, if you see that inside of the trailer. Which is insane because now the demigorgons, there's a pack of them, there's a group, and they're tracing them and they're hunting them. Vecna's not playing neither, so he is sending out his army to go do his doing as well. So, this is that scene where they probably just encountered some demigorgons and their only escape is to drive through this portal to the Upside Down, which is clearly on a farm somewhere in Hawkins that I talked about in season 2 when Dustin was on the phone. He talked about this place. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, that's crazy. And the portal was closing and they're driving through the portal. And it's one of those action-packed scenes that the Duffers has just made just so cinematographic, so high-powered. I can't wait to see, how that scene ends. And of course, Dustin is visiting Eddie. He knows he's a hero, but the whole town, as you can see, they have Burn in Hell on his tombstone. They believe he is the reason that all of this is happening in Hawkins. As we know, in the 1980s in the real world, there was that whole Dungeons and Dragons theory about the game, the satanic panic, all those things. All the parents were freaking out about the Dungeons and Dragons game and how the teenagers were going with that. So Hawkins believes that Eddie's behind this. Dustin knows that he isn't, but he's dealing with it differently. He's kind of shutting everybody out. He's not the same Dustin that we remember. So I think in season 5, we'll start off with a very sad, depressed Dustin. He's kind of like distanced himself from everybody, and his sole mission is to get Vecna and get vengeance for Eddie. But I think he could be a high death rate in this season as one of my death predictions because of the grief he's using, and we know that Vecna targets people who are grieving, who are in sorrow, kind of like Max when she was dealing with Billy in season 4. So, man, Dustin's up there for one of my characters who I don't know if he's going to make it out of season 5 just because he's become an easy target for Vecna, which he could target him in his dreams now. And all kind of like the hallucinations that he sends people, kind of like Max. And then if he doesn't have music around or he doesn't have something to stop him, or I could see Eddie sacrificing him. I can see Dustin sacrificing himself for maybe Jonathan, that's kind of crazy. Not Jonathan, I meant Steve, my bad. I can see Dustin sacrificing himself for Steve. But you could also see him a part of the teenage group with Nancy and Jonathan. They always go looking for clues. They look for ways in. Everybody has a part in this season. So to break down this scene, it looks like they might be in the Upside Down right here. They're searching for clues, maybe at the Krill house. Maybe, they're looking for things in the 1983, because I think time jump will have a huge significance in season 5. And you go over to Mike and Eleven's love story, their love triangle. How will it end? We've seen they kind of grew apart a little bit in season 4. Everything that happened with 11, she's back, but she's really been focused on her powers. And this kind of seems not like a happy scene. It kind of seems like she's outgrown Mike a little bit. And I think Mike probably knows that. And 11 understands there's way more higher things at stakes right now than her being with Mike. But they've also introduced the fact that Mike and Will might be a thing. I'm just saying, if you follow the show, it's inevitable to see that's kind of what they're leaning towards, Mike and Will ending up together. But we will see. And then just with Mike right here, you know, he's on the radio. He's being the leader of the team. You clearly see they're setting traps, probably with some newcomers that's coming to the group. They're setting traps for Vecna. They might be setting traps for the military. Knowing the Duffer brothers, this scene is going to be insane. Everything must go right. That's the best thing about Stranger Things Season 5. Mike really understands what's at stake. I think Mike is safe. I don't think Mike is in any danger of being lost this season. Lucas, I have to go back to Lucas. He's been putting a lot of situations, from the demi-dogs chasing him at the hospital with Max to him being in the tunnel with the Demigorgons. I don't know if Lucas is going to make it. He's on my high probability too. But back to Mike. Mike is just dealing with, you know, everything that's going on in Hawkins right now. And he understands the importance of they have to end this now. Because Will is literally at stake. Everything begins and ends with Will Byers. As we know, he can still feel the presence of Vecna. But now I think his arc is going to be even more insane, because I think that Will be used by Vecna to actually execute some of the characters who don't make it. I think Will be the person who actually is used by Vecna to do it. Kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street 2, when like Freddy was using that kid to do things. And then, you know, this arc is kind of like the Dream Warriors 3 arc for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 too. If you understand the Duffer brothers and like the popular movies that came out in 1987. Nightmare on Elm Street 3, think Dream Warriors, and think Nightmare on Elm Street 2, when Freddy was using that kid to commit those crimes, and then he would wake up, he would pass out, and then he would not even know what he did. So you can kind of see Will telling everybody to run. I think Joyce will have a hard decision to make when it comes to Will, because she's protecting Will at all costs. I mean, this is her son. Everything, Vecna's coming after her son full throttle. But I think she understands that Will is the person responsible. He's seeing everything. He's still being used as a vessel for Vecna. But I think Joyce Byers in this season will finally she might be the one to help deliver the final blow to Vecna, because if you know Joyce, she's not going out. When it comes to Joyce and Hopper, I can see them finally getting a happy ending, but at what cost? If you know the Duffer brothers and their influence for Stephen King, people make it, the love is already, the families reunite. It's a happy ending, but at what cost? I think there will be some huge losses. It will be victory for the family of Hawkins, like Joyce, Hopper, 11, Mike, Will, you know, but at what cost? Will 11 make it? Will Will not make it? Oh, man, it's going to be heartbreaking, bro. And I think that Joyce is going to be the one to have to hold everybody together, because in this season, she's all in, you know. She's all in with helping the adult party, which is her and Hopper. You see Hopper a lot with 11, and you see Joyce a lot with Will. I think at this point, she's not leaving Will. She's going to stick by his side no matter what happens. She's going to fight the Demigorgons. Honestly, Joyce, I don't know. She's kind of high on my list for not making it out neither, because I can see Joyce sacrificing herself, kind of like what Hopper did at the end of season 3. So, yeah, we got to stay tuned to see if Joyce makes it out as well. Seeing is crazy. It looks like a huge portal opening. I don't know if that's the Mind Flare, and this is like Dimension X merging with the Upside Down, but it just looks like a portal for a huge monster to drop through. So this is Nancy and Jonathan, I believe, just staring at this radio tower. And that's going to be a big, important part of the scene too, Nancy and Jonathan. And the love triangle between her, Steve, and Jonathan. Who will she end up with at the end of the season? Jonathan is high on my list not to make it, bro. Like, he's probably one of my top 3 characters that won't make it out of season 5. We'll go back and look at this video, but based on the trailers, I don't think Jonathan makes it out. Nancy, man, high probability for her too. One of these two are not going to make it, because I think it leaves room for the Nancy and Steve. Steve, I have a huge theory for Steve. Like, him getting bit by those demo bats, I think he's going to become a part of Vecna's army. Like, in D&D lore, it's like Kamikaze. There's an episode like Escape from Kamikaze. And there's this vampire, like, bat warrior who, like, is a part of Vecna's army. I think early on in the season, we'll start seeing signs of this for Steve. And I think Steve will become a part of the Hive Mind. But I think he will turn on Vecna in the end, as And for Murray, Murray's always going to be around to help support the crew in this season. You see the demo dogs are chasing him and Robin in this truck. It's a high probability that Murray doesn't make it out of Volume 1. I could see him being one of the earlier people to go as well. So, man, hopefully not true, Murray. Hopefully you make it, but it's not looking good for Murray. Robin, on the other hand, I think she's safe, but I don't know. Drop your theories in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know. Who do you think will make it out of Season 5? Are you ready for Season 5? The launch tomorrow is going to be crazy. It's going to be epic. I appreciate all the love and support. And, as always, say no more. I look forward to talking to you guys. My Season 1, my Volume 1 Season 1, Volume 1, Episode 1. You know what I'm trying to say. Season 5, Volume 1, Episode 1 reaction video will come out tomorrow. Say no more.